Let's head to Otago, where a Palmerston man, this is Palmerston that's just north of Dunedin, of course, says he's still waiting for urgent prostate cancer surgery at Dunedin Hospital after a confirmed diagnosis from a biopsy in February. And he says he's been told 7 other patients are in the same boat. Last week, Checkpoint brought you stories of people who've had their surgery postponed several times due to a lack of ICU beds at the hospital. On some occasions, the patients had even stayed overnight in hospital, been prepped for their operations. The surgical team and the theatre was good to go, but no ICU beds, postponement. One family told us their father had died after his cardiac surgery was postponed 4 times. Paul Schofield was diagnosed with prostate cancer in February after paying for his own biopsy to speed the process up, the results of which he took to Dunedin Hospital.
I asked him how long before the surgery, and he said, well, it would. The government requirements were for the surgery to be done within 2 to 3 months of the biopsy or the confirmation of the diagnosis, and things moved pretty rapidly from there. I had a call from the hospital, and they carried out the pre-anaesthetist checks, and then a couple of weeks later I saw a nurse who told me about post-operative care and all this sort of thing, and I thought, gee, this is moving quite well.
And when was that? When was that stuff happening, Paul?
That was all happening within a month or so of Mr. Smiley sending a letter to the hospital.
So what month are we talking about there? We're talking about February that this was going on? Right, okay. So you have your biopsy, which you do in private so that you can actually get the damn thing done. The hospital comes back...
Just to confirm what was happening and what sort of seriousness it was, the various types of cancers and so on, and that's why we did that, yeah. And
then the hospital swung into action in a way that was encouraging and impressive, and you thought, gosh, you're on the tracks here and some treatment's going to happen. So this was taking place in February, it's now August. Have you had the surgery?
No. No, I actually wondered, nothing sort of, it all stopped then.
And did they tell you why?
No. Just that's all it was. No, we don't know. So anyway, I then waited a couple of weeks more, and then I sent a letter to the hospital advocacy group requesting that, when would I like to see the surgery? And look, if they don't have the facilities or whatever to carry out the surgery, would they please look at transferring me to another area who did have the facilities to do the job,
Have you had a reply?
I actually haven't been given any nothing, and no writing as to why it's not going forward. There's no critical explanation. There's no one can say, oh, look, we've booked you in on the 5th of June, all going well, we'll expect to get this done by then. Nothing.
So you've had a biopsy, you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, you've been told by the hospital initially that there needs to be surgery and it needs to be done relatively expeditiously. It hasn't happened and you really haven't heard from anyone since?
No.
Are there other people that you know of in a similar position?
I understand there are, from communications I've had, that yes, there's other people waiting for surgery too. Some of them have been waiting for some time.
How many do you know?
I was told 7.
Right, and you were told that by the hospital?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And they, like you, are waiting without any sense of a date for surgery?
I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what their private circumstances are, but there's obviously people waiting for surgery who haven't had it done, and it's quite worrying when you think you're sitting around waiting, things are gradually deteriorating while you're waiting for surgery.
Paul Schofield, we asked the Southern DHB for a response both on how many people are waiting times and when Mr Schofield might expect to have his surgery. That diagnosis right back at the beginning of the year, it said it would come back to us with that information tomorrow.